Hi kids, we're back. Welcome back to Guitar Quackery Live. This is the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel. I forgot to send a link to the customer. This is what this channel is for. Whoop. Okay, in addition to being a live streaming channel for the public. So it's also an educational channel, obviously. You get to see how I work on guitars in real time. In real time with a small delay. A tiny delay called latency. Okay. That's it. We're streaming. So this is a live stream. No editing, which means you get to see everything, but it takes a while to watch through it if you watch it in replay, which is what you're doing right now since I have no viewers as we speak. Yeah, if live streaming is not your thing, you can subscribe to the regular channel, which is called Guitar Quackery. This channel is called Guitar Quackery Live. Those are two different channels, right? Sorry, I had some water here from the previous job. We have a fantastic acoustic guitar here on the bench. It's a Boucher Canadian guitar. It's a model, what is it called? Bluegrass Goose, okay? And it also goes by BG42 GM, okay? Here's the guitar. I'm gonna take the strings off because we repaired the nut. So you are now watching part 3 of this series. If you missed part 1 and part 2, there was interesting stuff happening there. But part 1 received 1 like and 1 dislike. So 50% of people who voted disliked it. Part 2 received 2 likes and 1 dislike. So I guess better than part 1. So I wonder how many likes this part will receive. Third's a charm, right? All right. We are going to remove the strings, lubricate the nut, polish the frets, and put the strings back on. We're not going to do much of a setup because I kind of did it. So first you could argue that filing the nut, which is what we did in part 1, is part of a setup, okay? Because without a good nut, you don't get a good setup. Now the nut was already good, but now it's, you know, slightly improved. I already adjusted the truss rod when the customer was here, and that put the strings lower, but that's not how you adjust the string height. You adjust the string height after you fix the nut, after you fix the truss rod at the saddle. Now, an acoustic guitar will have a soundboard deflection, so they should never be flat. There should be a little bit of a dome, right? That's by design. And now we have pretty low action, and that's what the customer said he likes. Yeah, I might release the truss rod just a little bit. We have a little bit of a differential relief, more relief here than here, which is great. And that's about it. So why don't I remove the strings? And then we'll lubricate the nut and polish the frets, like I said. So I always, you know, turn these because I like to make sure they work. You can just cut the strings off. And also then I put them in the right orientation for the restringing. You know, this is all loose. And now I can remove the bridge pins. Let me put this away before we scratch the guitar. So they come out very easily. Okay, not that easily. That's actually good, right? This is a really well-built guitar, I have to admit. These pins are some kind of hard plastic. Yeah. That doesn't mean they're bad because they're plastic. Okay, and the strings came out easily as well. I did examine the guitar on the inside when the customer was here with the endoscope. I don't really feel I should do it again, especially now when I remove the strings. You wouldn't see how the strings are seated, but it was all good. This is an expensive guitar. You got to be careful how you remove the strings so you don't scratch the veneer, the headstock veneer. Okay, especially the B string is really stiff. I'm going to use these needle nose pliers. Should I show you this? It's not that interesting, but okay. In the spirit of live streaming, maybe it'll earn me a thumbs up from this audience. Okay, so you see this is kind of stiff and all. So we want to make sure we don't scratch anything. To be honest, I just want to cut it right there. It's not worth taking the risk. Okay, that's it. And now the string. All right, we didn't scratch anything. I recycle strings. I send them to the Dario. They have a recycling program. They work with a partner. So I'm not really sure how they're being recycled. They don't make strings out of old strings. They use the metal for something else. Okay, here. That's my recycling bin. Okay. So first, we're going to polish and buff the frets. Let's first see. Let's examine the surface of these frets. So we got some scratches going up and down, okay? That's from sandpaper. You can see that. So I do a premium fret polish. And here it's interesting. You can see how those up and down scratches produced these little fractures inside of this area right there, right? The up and down fractures. Same thing here. So, yeah, let me see. Let me think for a moment. So every guitar is different. I don't necessarily do the same procedure on every guitar. Let's see. That's a little too loose. Sorry, people are leaving here, so we're in the music studio. Hey, kids. You're leaving? Huh? No, I'm good. Yeah, so you know how to lock the doors and everything? Yeah, you're good, right?
So we're doing everything except for arming the alarm, right?
Yeah, exactly. Don't arm the alarm. I'm here. Yeah. Yeah. You're taking the elevator or the door?
I just locked up the elevator, so I'm taking the door.
Okay, cool. And you're going to lock the door on the outside?
Yes, we'll do.
Cool. Okay, bye. So they're locking for the first time. We want to make sure they don't make a mistake. Sorry about that. Oh, a Rubbish Guitar blog is here. Good morning to you as well. All right. So it's a Boucher guitar. I don't know if you caught the beginning of this. Yeah, so it's pretty smooth. I'm going to use a fret guard. Which size? Let me determine which size. Maybe this one or this one. Oh, this one. Okay. And we will use some tape. So that I don't have to hold it. I just put tape like this. So here's the thing. We can't just start buffing frets that have these scratch tool marks like this, right? We need to remove those scratches first. Otherwise, we end up with a wavy surface. And that's not what I want. And that's not what the customer wants either. So I'm going to use this file to hold the sandpaper because I'm making these tools. I don't really want to talk about this too much here. I just want to make progress. But we are going to start with what grit? I think we can start either with 800 or 600 grit. Let me see. I'm thinking. I don't have all the answers yet. Let me see. Yeah, let me start with 800 grit and see what happens. And I'm going to, because I'll be pushing down, kind of like I'm going to use this neck rest if I can. This one is really for the electric guitar height. So let me see if it works for this one. All the way to here. Yeah, it does. Okay. All right. So I'll work on this one fret first, and then I'll check. And I'll use this side of the file. Okay. Now let's check. And, you know, I like what I see. You know, it's, yeah. Okay, so it's removing those scratches. And it's not too aggressive. This 800 grit is, you know, very, very fine. I wonder if I could even use 1000 already. Just bear with me. Let me try on the other fret. Let me see. And, you know, I can totally start with 1000 grit. Look at that, right? I don't see any scratches going in this direction anymore. And that's what we'll do. We'll start with the 1000 grit. Even better, right? So I'm going to do that first fret again with the 1000. Just a small pass, quick. And now I just do the rest of the fingerboard. And you know, I'm thinking maybe instead of this, I think I should be using tape. Because this way I can rotate the file and I get a little closer to the fingerboard. On the side here and here. Yeah, I like this. I can use the same section for these two frets. I'm really just touching the two sides. Okay. So now we're really in the scratch removal business right now, right? That's what we're doing. Okay, so the first three frets are done, and now we just start here. That's the 4th fret. And we'll be able to achieve a really good shiny finish. I really like this neck rest because it supports the neck here and here. It is really the best neck rest design there is. But for certain applications, this is better. Like this can hold the strings like this on the side. Yeah, so for some applications, I actually like the Music Nomad Cube, I think it's called. So here, I just showed you, you know, one way to determine which grit of sandpaper to use. So obviously, with the microscope, I can, I can inspect the work and I determine what's the best option. So this is already an excellent guitar, but we are just kind of pushing it a bit higher, I guess. So the fret polishing system that I'm using now with the sandpaper and this, holder. Well, I'm improvising with a knot file, or with a crowning file, but I learned this from Ken Parker. He shows this on his YouTube channel. I don't know him personally. Ken Parker is the inventor of the Parker Fly guitar. So today I was going to work on a PRS, but the customer canceled yesterday. So he came to pick up his guitar and no work had been done to it. He said he had a gig, unplanned gig. Okay, I'm kind of quiet. I don't know what to talk about. I did say in some previous live streams that I actually want to talk about other things. What should I talk about? Let me see. Hold on. Today I commented on someone else's video. Oh yeah, Guitar Max put out a video about guitar myths, and I think he missed a few, because obviously there are many. And I posted 2 or 3 comments. So, guitar myth that I believed when I was a teenager was that to improve the sustain of a guitar, acoustic or electric, you need to wind as many winds as possible on the tuning posts. That's going to improve sustain. I actually believed it. So that's not a popular guitar myth. I only heard it once in my life. And I believed it. Guitar myth number 2 that I believed at the time was that, again, I heard that in high school. From a friend who told me that the wood that's used for guitars is, very special, and that when they cut a tree with the intention to use the wood to build guitars, they don't let the tree fall, because that would produce micro hairline fractures inside of the wood, and that instead they slowly lower the tree onto the ground with cables. Apparently that's what they do. That's what I believed. I'm running out of that sandpaper, but I also want to protect, excuse me, I'm going to be stepping off camera here. I want to protect the soundboard. So I have these guitar covers. So let me just use this one. Maybe it'll work for this guitar. Yeah, it'll work. It'll do the trick. Okay. And like I said, I'm running out of this sandpaper, so got a little bit left. So yeah, so I actually believed that if a tree falls when they cut it, it's no good. It's firewood. You can't use it for musical instruments. So when I bought my second Gibson Les Paul, it was a Les Paul Classic. I kept it on the guitar stand, plugged in. So I think you see where this is going. I was 20 maybe at the time, and it fell off the stand. And immediately I thought of those trees. This guitar was made out of special wood that, you know, was never allowed to fall onto the ground. And now my guitar fell onto the floor. And now it has all these hairline fractures. So I sold the guitar. And I regretted it because I really liked that guitar. But I really thought the guitar was no longer good. The headstock didn't break. So that means it was actually a good Gibson, maybe, huh? So I posted that myth on Guitar Max's video. You can check it. You can check the video. I think he posted the video today. I think it was Guitar Max. Was it someone else? So now I don't know anymore if it was Guitar Max or someone else. Now I'm curious. Okay, let's check. Guitar myths. Oh no, it was Robert Baker, not Guitar Max. Okay. Yeah. Right. Sorry about that. Robert Baker. Yeah, I like his channel. Okay. So, as you can see, we're almost done. 4 more frets. And then we're going to go straight to buffing. And I think that's going to be fine. Robert Baker. I like his playing. He plays well. I'm not a very good player. So, yeah, so I don't know if he's a good player. I just know he's better than I am. So, to me, anyone that's better than I am is a good player. And most of those, guitar YouTubers are better than I am when it comes to playing. And that sucks. I wanted to be a good player when I was little. I was a decent player starting in high school. How do I know that? Because people were asking me, show me how to play this. So that's how I know. So I figured out some solos. This was before YouTube, before the internet. way before the internet. So now no one would ask me. Now people would just go on YouTube. I also watched KDH today. So he's at the NAMM show. So I guess he's going to be covering that. That costs thousands of dollars, right? To pay for the hotel. I guess you're renting a car while you're there. Airfare. All the expensive food. I like KDH. He's like a guitar detective. I know Rob Chapman doesn't like him, or Anderton, because he exposed some of the shenanigans they were up to. Okay, now let's do some buffing. A little announcement here. This is my old rotary tool, and this is my new one. I'm still going to be using the old one, but the old one has that annoying USB micro or mini USB thing, micro I think it's called, and this one has a USB-C. So although I'm not a big fan of USB-C, I think Lightning is better for something you're going to be plugging in and out multiple times. But it's better than the old mini micro USB, which is really annoying because you always need to make sure you're inserting this thing in the right direction. Okay, so I have plenty. Let's start with the buffing compounds. Buffing compound number 1. Which is all linked in the description. Oh, okay. And maybe I can put this camera here. Oh, yeah. So the links in the description are now showing the new rotary tool. And I think you already know that those are Amazon affiliate links, which pay me a small commission, blah, 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 at no extra cost to you, which I'm required to say every time I mention them. Or they can, you know, go after me. So I need to say that for fear of imprisonment and execution. That's how it is. Where's my cloth? My polishing cloth. Here it is. Okay, let's get busy. So we're already almost 40 minutes into this. So we'll start with this one. How about that? Okay. And so it goes. Yeah, so if you're going to be buying these, buy the new one, I guess. I actually bought 2 different types just to check them out. Both of them have USB-C connectors. One of them is a 3-speed, the one I just showed you. The other one's 6, I think. I think the 6-speed I'm going to use for something else. And it's orange, the other one. This one's red. The one I just showed you, obviously, you saw that. And I prefer red because that's the Guitar Quackery color. Some of you are still watching. Just a few people. I can't see the actual count. I think it says 3. Let me check. Oh yeah, let me check the battery as well. Yeah, 3 people watching. Oh yeah, Robert's Guitar Blog says Robert Baker. Okay, so I guess you checked before I checked. Yeah. Yeah. So he does a lot of reviews, right? I heard him say once that I think he had a guest, another YouTuber. Was it Dylan Tuckstone? I know he had a guest when he said the following, that he would rather just review products that he likes. So, okay, I can see how monetized channels would be reluctant to do negative reviews. But I think we need negative reviews because we want to keep the companies honest, right? So I've done negative reviews, non-sponsored. And I want to continue doing negative reviews because I need to figure this out, right? Because I do want to be monetized in a sense. I mean, my main channel is monetized through ads, but, you know, that doesn't pay much. Sponsorships pay. So sponsors might be reluctant to sponsor a channel that posts negative reviews. So what's the solution? I'm going to try to get sponsorships through non-guitar related channels like Brilliant or whatnot, right? Because Skillshare, right? That's another one that sponsors content. Yeah, let's see if that works. And that way I can post guitar-related negative reviews to warn the public. Because I want Guitar Quackery, the Guitar Quackery channels, there's a few of them, right? Going to be, no, there are 2 of them, but there will be more. I want the Guitar Quackery YouTube network to be known for being the consumer advocate channel. If I can pull it off. We'll see. See, I think that in the long run, see, nothing that's worth doing is easy, right? So I think that in the long run, if the Guitar Quackery network of channels is known for posting true reviews, not sponsored by the guitar companies, in the long run, it has the potential to be a much bigger channel than any of the channels that post a lot of sponsored reviews. Again, sponsored by guitar companies. I don't know. But sometimes, you know, that's kind of logical in my head. But sometimes what's logical isn't what happens in real life. So is that how it's going to play out? I don't know. And then some people still click the thumbs down button here. It's like I post all this content to help guitar players, and then they click thumbs down. On my last video, not last one, the one before last, on my main channel, so it's titled something like Martin Guitar Ruined by Repair Tech. So I wasn't naming anyone. But the fact is that someone did do some damage to that guitar. That's, you know, serious damage. Not something you can repair easily, really. You need proper tools and experience to repair it. The bridge plate or the, you know, pinholes for the bridge pins. So I got a few hate comments calling me a con man, one of them. Well, I just clicked ban user. I don't engage. You know, I don't want to engage in a pissing contest with a jerk, right? It's just probably some young guy that, you know, too much testosterone. So, you know, I got a couple of aggressive comments. A couple, two, right? I believe there were only two. So I'm sure they clicked the thumbs down button. I don't want them back on the channel. So both of them were banned. So I really don't mind. I'm not going to censor comments. If somebody wants to post a negative comment, I'm going to respect it as long as it's, you know, expressed somehow properly, right? Anyone is free to post like any kind of criticism of what I do. That's okay. No one's perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I'm just a technician with a YouTube channel, nothing more. So there were some comments disagreeing with me respectfully, right? And then I respectfully disagreed with them. Those comments are still there, and my replies as well. One of them kind of stands out because he was kind of really pretty much disagreeing with everything. But then I disagreed. I actually disagreed with everything he said. So I posted my reply without insulting anyone. Oh yeah, I think he said that that true professionals would never defame other technicians, because I said that the guitar was ruined by a previous repair tech. Well, so I respectfully disagreed that, first of all, professionals, let's see what the dictionary definition of the word professional is. So I make a living doing this. I'm a professional, right? That doesn't mean that I'm good. That just means I'm a professional, right? That's what I do to pay the bills. Then defamation, right? So in order to defame, you need to name someone, which I didn't. I mean, I kind of said that maybe it was done by someone at the Martin factory. So you could argue that, let's say that the argument is that I'm defaming the Martin company, which, I'll be criticizing Martin very soon. They are, let me show you something. So this is the kind of garbage that this company. So you see the name on the headstock, right? Why is this camera not focusing? Okay, I think you can see that this is, in fact, a Martin guitar because it's focusing on my eyes, right? This is a Martin guitar. So how does this sound? Look at this, right? So Martin guitars spontaneously fall apart. Right, that's one of them. Bear with me. Okay. You see the name on this headstock, right? So this is just falling apart. I want to keep this as a surprise. It's going to be in a video. This guitar, that's a 12-string Martin, right? And the other one's going to be in a video as well. And another one's going to be in a video. So I am going to criticize Martin, not defame. Because to defame, you need to tell a lie that actually hurts someone. Okay, so I'm not going to be telling any lies. I have the evidence right here. So, and back to that comment that the guy made on my channel. I wasn't lying. Whoever worked on that guitar did damage it. And I showed it right there, right? No question. And also, to defame, you need to cause damages or financial hardship or loss of reputation intentionally, with malintent, okay? So, to the person or company. So, again, I didn't name a person. I don't know who worked on it. I just know that somebody did. And if someone wants to argue that I caused any kind of financial hardships to the company Martin because I suggested that maybe they did it. Well, I've made a lot of money fixing Martin guitars like those that spontaneously were just falling apart like no other company. So that's hurting the consumers. And like I said, I want to be a consumer advocate. So I'm not defaming Martin, right? If I tell it like it is. I am protecting the consumers, some of which are clicking the thumbs down buttons on my channel. So, by exposing a company, maybe they will, up their game. That's really the goal. Or maybe the consumers will be better educated and know what to look for before paying for gear, for a guitar or for whatever gear, right? So yeah, so I kind of explained that in my reply to that viewer's comment. And again, it was all kept civil. And going back to my initial thought, I do welcome any kind of criticism. It's all good, as long as it's not, mean or hard. It could be harsh, if I do something, whatever. But I think you know what I mean. What I don't like is just people clicking thumbs down. Okay, so they didn't like the video. At least tell me why not. Just, I'll read it. But it's impossible to please everyone anyway, right? So I think every content creator, not necessarily guitar channel, right, should just have, their own loyal viewers, I guess, who like the content for whatever reason and who follow, and that's it. But yeah, hiding behind an avatar really kind of brings the worst out of some people. I once got a strike on a guitar forum, the gear page. So I posted a comment, and I want to promote my channel a little bit, so I linked to one of my videos. And the first reply was, really mean. And, kind of saying, keep your day job, don't become a comedian, whatever. Your humor is terrible. Okay. So I clicked on his profile, which eventually took me to his YouTube page, and I got to hear his music. And it was terrible. It was really terrible. So I posted a reply. I gave him a taste of his own medicine, and he didn't like it. So he reported it to the administrators, and I got a strike. And then moderators, administrator, whatever, moderators, I guess. And then, you know, I wrote back to the moderator. I said, well, you know, did you read his, you know, personal attack? You know, what happened to that? And they were a little vague. They said something that they treat everyone equally. Sushi gang, sushi gang. Boy. Okay. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Okay. It's looking good, I think. So we're switching here to this other buffing wheel. Oops. Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, come on. It gets stuck there, and then... So it's important not to overheat the fret, which is why I keep moving this. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell the difference. I can. I don't know if it's perhaps not in focus. Now it's in focus. Okay. Yeah, it's important not to care what people think too much. So I posted another video on the main channel. It's an experimental post, really. I hired a consultant for my YouTube channels. So she's really only going to help me with one channel. And it's going to be most likely the upcoming Guitar Quackery business channel. I already reserved the name. I haven't posted anything yet. I haven't made any videos yet. But I will soon, I hope. So we were discussing the audience retention. And I kind of, studied that already. And the YouTube gurus say audience retention is so important. In the first 5 seconds, if you lose whatever 60% or 80% of your audience, that means that this and that, right? So all of my videos lose about 70% within the first 30 seconds or so. It's a huge drop, and then it's stable. So I told her that I actually don't agree with that. That I think the metric is not really showing how well the video is performing, or if I made a good video or not, or if it matches the thumbnail and the title, okay? Because it's all gonna match, right? I think the metric shows the average audience attention span, for one, right? So a lot of people, they just can't watch through, 30 seconds if there's no explosion or something, right? That's one thing. And the other thing is, when I check my history, my viewing history, videos show up that I never watched. And those were videos that I just passed my cursor over, right? So if you hover over a video, as you know, or if you pass your cursor over a thumbnail, the video just plays. And it shows up in my history as if I watched those videos, which I didn't. So if that's showing up in the history, I think it's safe to assume that it's also showing up in the creator's audience retention graph. So now, a lot of YouTube experts, self-proclaimed, they tell you on YouTube that audience retention is really important, and to improve the audience retention, you need to make sure that the thumbnail matches the title, and that the first 5 seconds of the video match exactly the thumbnail and the title. So that you need to show the object or whatever it is that you show in the thumbnail in the first 5 seconds, and that you also need to state those words somehow, so that they need to hear and see what they've read in the thumbnail and the title and saw in the thumbnail. And if you don't have that figured out, you will have very poor audience retention. And you will lose your audience in the first 5 or first 30 seconds. So the YouTube gurus show you their some of their statistics, and I noticed that none of them are showing me their audience retention charts. Why not? So if they want to convince me that they got this figured out, and they say you got to have audience retention 80%. If you don't have 80%, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so show me your audience retention chart, but none of them are showing me. Well, I don't know. I haven't found one that shows it, right? So that's my theory. I don't think that they have a better audience retention for the reasons I just explained. So why am I saying this? Because I just posted a test video that meets all that criteria, right? It's about a Stingray bass review. And it says it in the title, it says it on the thumbnail, it shows a picture of the Stingray bass in the title, and I show it right, in the first 5 seconds, and I say what it is in the first few seconds. And the video is not performing well. So, just the same as any other video in terms of audience retention. So even my most, best performing videos on my channel have really poor audience retention, according to the experts, because I lose about 70% of my audience in the first 30 seconds or so. And I just think it's a false metric. I am currently working on a guitar humidification video. So one thing that I've noticed is that videos with some kind of negativity in the title will do well, usually. Like I had a video titled "Disaster Review of a Guitar." So that one did well. And I smashed the guitar at the beginning. But still, audience retention was the same, right? And, by the way, why did I smash the guitar? Well, I had to scrap it. So I wanted to scrap it in a creative way. I made a video. And it was a review video. And it's pretty obvious that the guitar was garbage and beyond repair. So some people have commented on my channel, why don't you just donate it? Even if the guitar is not good, donate it to someone, blah, blah, blah. Well, no. I don't want to be known for donating problems. If I'm going to donate a guitar, I want to make sure it's a good guitar. So, yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, to have a guitar that's complete garbage, and instead of scrapping it, which is the only thing that can be done sometimes, donating it and making myself look good, like, oh, I just donated this beautiful guitar that looks really good on camera. But the person receiving the guitar, let's say if it's a child that doesn't know how to play, will struggle and probably give up music, because children don't have a point of reference, right? They don't know what a guitar should feel like. And I just gave them a piece of garbage. And now they're going to give up playing because that's what they think a guitar should feel like. You see, that's not the right thing to do. And I've donated a few guitars already, and I'm still going to donate some. I have a whole bunch of them. But the donations, the giveaways are... So I gave away, what is it called? Streamliner Gretsch with a Bixby. to someone here who rehearses here. And it was like a little thing. So there was a poster, and the poster said, you know, I'm donating a guitar, but not a case, right? So you bring your own case. So she signed up for that. I mean, you know, the person who ended up getting it. And she didn't bring a case. She didn't have a case, right? Which is fine, you know, because I talked to her ahead of time. We made an appointment so I can make a video, which I'm still editing, by the way. But so I let her borrow a case, and I said, yeah, you know, just bring it back, and that's it. So it's been a month already, and she's been here a few times, and I just know she genuinely forgot, right? I'm not saying anything against her. All I'm saying is now I got to deal with that as well. So does she remember that we said that the case isn't included? Or did she actually forget that? And now I'm going to have to convince her that that is in fact what we agreed on. I don't know. So let's see. I was waiting for her today to come out of a rehearsal studio, but I had to start streaming. I couldn't wait any longer. So, yeah, so giveaways are tough. And I just, I really don't want to do it much anymore. But I still have a whole bunch of guitars that I need to give away. Because I bought a whole bunch of guitars all at once, and now they're here. And I thought I was just going to give them away very easily, and that didn't work out. The first giveaway I did was on my main channel. It was a giveaway I announced. I was going to give away a guitar for to celebrate 335 subscribers to the channel. And the guitar was going to be a Gibson ES 335, you see, for 335 subscribers. And yeah, so I don't know if you watched that video. So I said, yeah, I'm giving away a Gibson ES 335 as soon as I hit 335 subscribers. So as I was getting close to that number, I announced that, and then people were signing up. And then I showed the guitar. So I said, it's on my bench right here in front of me. And then I put the overhead camera over the guitar and cut to that camera view. And the guitar was out of focus. And then I focused on the guitar. You could see the Gibson ES 335. And then I said it also comes with a pick, and I put the pick next to the guitar, and you could see that it's a miniature Gibson ES 335. It says Gibson on the headstock, and it's not a counterfeit. It's, you know, a license by Gibson, whatever. So I gave away that guitar to one of my subscribers. Well, it took a while to get to 335 subscribers. Then I hit 1,000 subscribers. I don't know, after, well after a year. Now the channel is at 4,500 subscribers. So still under 5,000. Which is why I hired that consultant. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how she does. I posted something on her forum this morning. I don't know if she replied yet. She's in, I thought she lived in Rome. She's actually right now living in Dubai. Not my favorite place, but I don't like artificial stuff. I like real stuff. To me, Dubai is a fake place. It's not a real place. I mean, yes, it exists for real, but it's not a real place. Okay. Here it is. All buffed. We're not done yet. Okay. Let me check this. Handmade bone saddle. I wish the saddle slot was a little bit deeper, so we get a little more of a less wiggling maybe. It's really not wiggling. I mean, it kind of is microscopically, but I like it when it's anchored deeper. Okay, so if at any point someone wants to install an under saddle pickup, especially here on the treble side, there's really not much height for an under saddle pickup. Perhaps if you install the Shadow Electronics NanoFlex, which is as thin as paper, that would work. But any other one, not really. I mean, it can be routed deeper, but that's, you know, obviously a lot of work. So that's one, I think, area for improvement that I would give feedback to the company. I mean, this is a beautiful guitar. I'm not criticizing it, really. I'm not. I'm just saying I would put, route this a little deeper. It's deeper at the bass side. It's probably because the bridge is taller, although it doesn't really look taller. Let me see. So I'm judging the space here. No, it seems to be routed deeper here than on the treble side. I don't know. Okay, now we're gonna oil the fingerboard. I'm going to put some tape on the nut first. Just like that. Yes, so my consultant is, I think she's a very smart young lady, younger than me. No more water. She's a med student, so she studies medicine in Rome, and I guess she took a break from that. Now she's in Dubai. So I asked her about that, and she said, yeah, I'm still enrolled, but now I'm in Dubai for a little while. I didn't ask why. Not my business, obviously. Okay. So here we go. Oiling the fingerboard. I never use that lemon oil, whatever they call it. It's, you know, I don't want to use any kind of liquid oil that's going to wick between the frets and the fret slots. This is coconut oil. And at so-called room temperature, it's kind of like hardened butter, right? And what that does is exactly what you see. So you can spread a really thin layer just over the wood, and it doesn't, there's no puddle that melts and wicks between the frets and the fret slots. You really don't want to oversaturate. First of all, oil is oil. It's not water, right? So it doesn't evaporate. So it builds up over time if you keep oiling. Now you can use a chemical that's a toxic chemical. That I don't like to say what it is, but I think everybody knows what it is if you watch any guitar channels. It's the most commonly used, toxic chemicals and chemical in the guitar repair world. It will dissolve the oils, and then you can wipe it off before it evaporates, and so you can remove some of the old oil from the fingerboard. Not all of it, obviously. But coconut oil is really good because I really just... so why do we oil it? It's really a vapor barrier. It's not a 100% vapor barrier like a sheet of plastic, but oil and water don't mix, so it slows down the transfer of moisture into and out of the wood grain, the fingerboard. Okay, so it keeps it more stable. That's how I understand it. But I didn't talk to the person who came up with oiling fingerboards, so I don't know what they had in mind. But that's my understanding. And you could see I put a microscopic amount, right? I mean, almost microscopic. There's a video I think it's on Gibson TV, on the Gibson channel, that teaches you to put a whole bunch of oil and let it soak in for a long time. And no, that's exactly what you don't want to do, because the frets are sometimes glued in and sometimes not. But whether or not they're glued in, they are in fact being held by friction. So either by friction alone or by friction in addition to the glue, right? So when you, oversaturate and so when you oversaturate, it wicks into between the fret tank and the fret slot, and then it wicks into the wood grain, because the wood fibers are like microscopic little straws, right? And that kind of weakens that mechanical grip on the fret tanks. So now you can have wiggly frets, etc. Yeah, so I don't agree with that video. And then there's a Taylor video that shows the exact opposite, right? So, what's his name? Rob Mergargo, I think, something like that. The Taylor technician. He says, don't put too much oil. And I agree with him, right? But he's still using the liquid oil, but he's using it correctly, right? He puts it on a rag, tap, tap, tap a little bit, and then tap, tap, tap a little bit. And he says, don't put too much and just wipe it off. So that's going to be kind of the same result as using coconut oil, so which is fine. So I've done it like that. I don't use it now, but I have done it like that. So once again, the strings I'm using are where I put the box now. Okay, the Dario XS. Oh, here's the box. 13 to 56, excellent strings. Non-sponsored comment. Okay, and I'm going to lubricate the nut using this thing, Tune It. That's also non-sponsored. It's Music Nomad. Tune It. Okay. So when you lubricate a bone nut, don't put too much. It's going to soak into the bone, and you will see. So I'm going to lubricate the E, the A, and the D like that. For the other ones, I'm going to have to lubricate the string and then wind it. Okay. Here. I have needle nose pliers. Sometimes I do this. Just hold the ball end and kind of twist the string down like this so that it's already bent in that direction, Don't overdo it if you do this, because you can actually also fatigue the string and it can break at that point. But that helps it go under in that direction. Then just pull on the string. Especially it helps with a low E, and especially if it's a 56 gauge string. Yeah, so it's kind of bent, so it's no longer, I can show a close-up. That'll make sense, right? Yeah, this is it, right? So I didn't overdo it, but you can see that it's slightly off center now, right? And this is the part that's gonna go towards the sound hole, and that's gonna be here, the back, where the pin is pushing, right? So this is just helping, but I did not overdo it. And this especially helps when the pins are like these, flat at the bottom. Sometimes I sand them off. I'm not doing it this time. So I think this job is, very much about details, and that's just a small detail. Yeah, you just want the ball end of the string to go this way. So if the pin has a wedge, it's going to push it. If not, if it's flat, then it's, this is an option. Another option that I think you've seen me do in some other live streams is just to have a piece of glass here with sandpaper and just kind of like, and then put a wedge on the bridge pin. I don't always do everything exactly the same way. Okay. Like now is a good example. I don't always wind the strings in exactly the same way. Sometimes I do a lock, sometimes I don't. I am just going to be doing the over-under method on this one. Why is that? Because it's easier to remove the strings, and this is a mint condition guitar. I don't want somebody to scratch the headstock while attempting to remove the strings. So I want to put them on in the best way possible that's going to ensure easy removal. Yeah, let me put the camera here. No, it's going to be the under method, not over-under. And that's because these bridge pins, I'm sorry, these posts, hold on. Have the hole closer, very close to the top, right? So you can't do over and under. But usually what I do on acoustic guitars is I do the low E and then the high E, just so that those two strings hold down the saddle. And then I do the in-between strings. All right. We'll be done with this. Okay, so I keep them loose for now because I'm going to lubricate these 3 string slots. So I'll just put the lubricant on the string itself, the bottom of the string. Okay. That's that. Yeah. Okay, they look good. Just a couple of winds. You know, I could have used this. By the way, if you use these, just make sure that if it goes too deep on some guitars, it can actually scratch this. On this one, it's not. You know, it's not going to go too deep. Not even in this direction, okay? But I've seen scratches on some guitars, you know. So now I want to put some lubricant under the string, under the 3 strings. and, you know, a tiny amount. A really small amount. I can't even see it. If you can see it, it's too much. Put away all the sharp objects. So you can hear how it went flat. I don't know how much you're hearing, but because the strings started pulling the neck in this direction, and because the soundboard got pulled in this direction, right? So now we're going to double check the action and the relief, or I should say the relief and the action, although I'm checking the action now first. It should be the same, although sometimes when you oil it, it does change a little bit, okay? But, you know, I didn't oil it that much. I think we had 6 1,000ths on the, yeah, that's what we had. 6 1,000ths on the treble side, 11 1,000ths on the bass side. So let's see if we still have that. A differential relief. Here. So 6 1,000ths. 8th fret. It's passing. 8 1,000ths isn't. And on this one, 8 1/1000 is passing, 11, oh, isn't. So look at that, it changed a little bit. Okay, so we got either 8, 9, or 10 on this side, which is great. We had 11 before when I checked it. But, you know, necks aren't 100% stable, right? That's why we have the adjustment, which needs to be adjusted. I wish the action was a little bit higher. Now, I know that the adjustment of the truss rod isn't the adjustment of the action, but really without, so I don't want to shim this saddle without making a new saddle. We can't raise the action and maintain this relief. So it would be acceptable to release the truss rod a little bit to get maybe 8 1/1000 of an inch of relief instead of 6 on the treble side. And that would raise the action a little bit. So yeah, we're done. I'm going to do some more cleaning of the guitar and, you know, maybe waxing. I don't know if I should do this on camera. 1 hour, 53 minutes long. Okay. Oh, we have a new subscriber. No, I've seen you before, Jenny Ridger. My guitar went through a flood. I'm sorry to hear that. Another new subscriber, N8 Germ. Just subbed to both channels. Thank you. And then Ginny. So it's not, I want to say Jimmy. Ginny. Okay. My undersaddle pickup always feeds back. Well, you have to think of the entire circuit, right? So the entire circuit really starts at the nuclear power plant if you really want to be technical about it, but it's everything together. It's not just the pickup, it's the room where you're in the room in relation to the speaker, etc., right? And the volume settings and all that. Linseed oil, I don't know. My favorite is coconut oil. I have no reason to try anything else. I wouldn't use butter. I wouldn't use olive oil. Anything that builds up, really, I wouldn't use. Or anything that has a flavor, you know. I don't see a reason to try linseed oil. I don't know. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Oh, yeah, so later you say, oh, thanks, coconut oil works for tans and cooking too. I did what Gibson Video said, it cracked my custom fret inlays. Cracked. So what I think you mean is they popped out, right? So that happens on a Gibson regardless if you oil it or not. It's the way I think they sometimes don't do proper surface preparation before applying the glue, because surface preparation is key to a good glue joint, right? We all know that. So I've repaired Gibson guitars plenty of times, you know, where the inlays popped out. I heard oil can loosen frets. So that's N8 Germ says, I heard oil can loosen frets. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. I have a problem with humidity living on the coast, especially with my Louis Sevillano acoustic. Yeah. So you're saying too much humidity. So if you live in Southeast Asia, for example, oh, I have a buddy in Australia, on the east coast of Australia. I forgot what the town is called. He's a luthier and repair technician, and they get 80% humidity. So, yeah, that's a big problem. So you need to dehumidify the guitar. I run a dehumidifier and a humidifier. So those are here humidifiers. So I have a combo in the storage room, which I call the vault because it's locked, where I actually store the guitars. So sometimes you need a combo of dehumidifier and a humidifier. And it's going to go through, you know, cycles. Sometimes the dehumidifier is going to be running, and sometimes the humidifier is going to be running. I mean, those are going to be longer cycles, right? They're not going to be running at the same time. If they are, then your settings are wrong, I guess. But the dehumidifier will, you know, dehumidify the air. So you don't want to over-humidify. Between 45 and 55% is the commonly accepted safe zone for sure. Some argue that it's an even wider range, which is, you know, yeah. Guitars need to be built and assembled at a low humidity. And sometimes repaired at a low humidity, glued together, right? Because what happens if it's assembled? Well, this brings me back at the Martin problems, right? So if you don't have proper humidity control at the factory or wherever you glue together the sound box for the guitar, if you do it on a humid day or during a humid season, then those guitars will most likely fracture. So we see the fractures here, usually, somewhere. If the bridge also has the two screws, which really they don't need, and you have a little bit of a bridge lift, then you see a fracture right behind that. But that's caused by not necessarily lack of humidity. That's caused by the screw pulling. But when a guitar shrinks, you know, it's glued together, right? At one point, it has nowhere to go, so it's just going to split. Because wood grain splits, like, you know, that's how we can chop wood with an axe. It splits. Okay, and I'm in Southern California. The guitar was made only 15 miles from me. Yeah, but the humidity fluctuates, right, throughout the year. Also on the coast, okay. It stays pretty stable except on arid days, okay. That's exactly my concern, fractures. Yeah, that's exactly it. So, Taylor guitars, I mean, they will fracture, right? But not as often as Martin guitars. So, again, Martin, they need to up their game. Yeah. I've seen it too many times on Martin guitars like this one. Not one, but two fractures. You see them? And I think these holes had something to do with it. Right? Okay. Okay. Friends, if you liked it, just click the like button. If you didn't, give it another try some other time. Or at least tell me what I'm doing wrong. Okay, what time is it? Oh, almost 1 a.m. So I'm going to have to go. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.